father's from India, from sort of a very middle-class Indian family, but just a wonderfully spiritual Indian family. My mom comes from a samurai Japanese family. They met in Ottawa in graduate school. And my mom was doing a one-year abroad program. My dad was doing a two-year abroad program. They're both supposed to go back to their respective countries. And after their year or two was over, but they met, fell in love within 7 months, were married, and then within a year had three of us. We were three kids in 1 year. And so I'm first generation, Japanese and Indian, and I'm born and raised in Montreal. So I have an identical twin sister, Radha, who we actually now live together, and I have a third sister who's less than a year older. And so I think, there are several things that I think makes me me. I think the first is being a twin and an Irish triplet is it sort of instilled that sense of competitiveness, and yet sort of still collaborative competitiveness. So that we're constantly just battling and trying to be the best possible version of ourselves, because there's three of us running around the household, trying to get mommy and daddy's like, hey, look at me, and so so it was just a very healthy level of competition without it being sort of there was no animosity there. It was just like healthy and still collaborative. The other thing is that being from a Japanese and Indian family, it's just very academic, and so my parents were just always stressing the importance of academics and of just excelling. Perfect example, my mom, when we were in third grade, realized there wasn't any camp, like a summer camp for kids who were excelling. It was always sort of like catering to the lowest common denominator. It was just frustrating. Oh, special needs camps or like camps for like average below or whatever. And she's just like, no, screw this. I'm changing this. And she started the gifted children's camp when we were, as a Japanese woman, like English second language. She just started the gifted children's camp. And we basically, instead of like, watching movies, we were dissecting pigs when we were in third grade, things like that. So I think in that, again, instilled that sense of curiosity and just constantly, excited to learn. We also, played soccer growing up. My dad was our coach. My mom was our assistant coach. We excelled. We obviously I played soccer at Cornell, and I played then for the New York Magic for a couple of seasons. But it's sort of, again, that instilled that teamwork and that being in a team environment, but still like trying to be, a leader in that team environment. So I think, that was certainly a thing. My parents also, they started a company called Tomorrow's Professionals when we were like really young, which is these little electronics kits, these little educational kits that teaches you how to make electronics like circuit boards and making like burglar alarms and making little flashing things and switches and learning really about electronics, because they really thought way back in the 80s and 90s that it was the future, which it is. And so I think they made all the sacrifices, in the world for us and, for, the betterment of us. And I think that's really, really helped a lot in shaping our sort of outlook and sort of curiosity in life. When you notice a need in a community or you sense there's something missing, then you just solve it. If no one else is doing it, you just do it yourself. And it's just sort of that mentality. Okay, well, no one's doing this. I'm going to do it myself. And I don't have any clue how to do it. I have no background, but I'm going to figure out how to make it happen. And my mom, again, being, from Japan, English second, like she speaks like, hello, pleased to meet you, and she's just like total figured it out. And again, this is another thing, Monday through Friday, we had French school, Saturday Japanese school, and Sunday Hindi school. Like our parents tricked us into going to school 7 days a week for 12 years. And we're like, wait a minute, like what? They had a break. But now looking back, we now speak the languages. And it's certainly a huge benefit to learn language at a young age. And so again, it's all things that as a kid you kind of don't realize, but it certainly adds to everything when you start to learn to appreciate it and get older. But then just also being alive, like we're just really, I think I'm very, very blessed with the ability to do what I do every day and to have the freedom to create things, and it's empowering, and so it definitely gives a lot of energy. Slice came from a stomach ache. I, always had tummy issues, and not always, but actually when I first moved to New York, I mean, just every time I went out to eat, my stomach would hurt constantly, and it was just frustrating. So I was trying to figure out a place that I could go that both satiated my appetite, but it was also good for me, sort of like that healthy and tasty, and there was no marriage of the two. And so the idea was to create, that place that everyone knows and loves, a pizzeria, and use the best possible ingredients that I can find that are local and seasonal and farm fresh, and that won't give me tummy aches. And so it's a place that's I find safe for me to eat. People who have like allergies, like celiac disease, who have gluten intolerance, people who are vegan, people who have dairy intolerances, everyone can enjoy an amazing, delicious slice of pizza. And so that's the idea of Slice. Um, and and the second business is Prance, which is in my travels, and also it's an issue that all women deal with, which is menstruation management. And so like every girl here in developed countries every month, and this is totally like unrelated to pizza, but yeah, they get when they have their periods every month, they basically like leak through their underwear. I definitely do, and I like stain my underwear, leak, and either I have to throw them out or they like become my period underwear, which is just like gross and not fun. And so and then in my travels to Africa and India, I discovered that girls literally stay at home 1 week a month, and they use sticks, leaves, dirty rags, mud, bark. It's just crazy, and they end up dropping out because it gets so far behind. Like, think you stay at home 1 week a month, you're like trying to just play catch up, and by the time you're so far behind, you're like, screw this, I'm done. 100 million girls drop out every single year. It's just staggering, and it's unfair for something that's so natural, that like your period. So again, there was a need in the world, and so my girlfriend Antonia, my twin sister Radha, and we founded this company called Prance. And basically, what it does is we've spent the last 2 years working on a magical pair of underwear that has special properties. It's beautiful underwear, but it's leak-proof, stain-free, breathable, and then for every pair of underwear we buy, you buy here, a girl in a developing country gets 7 washable, reusable cloth pads through our partnership with AfriPads, it's a Ugandan-based organization. And they hire women who were dropped out and who now produce these AfriPads. Necessity is the mother of invention. And so if if you're looking around and you're like, this sucks, then you fix it. Otherwise someone may, but if someone doesn't, and you're facing it every single month, or you're eating and your tummy hurts every single day, then it's a problem that needs to be solved. And I'm clearly not the only one. There are millions of people who are obese, actually 1 billion now on the planet, and there are 200 million women in the United States. Sorry, 100 million women in the United States who bleed every month, and 2 billion women on the planet. So clearly, it's not just me. It's like there's a lot of people dealing with the same issues.